Platform product architecture. This video means to go as a companion to the article that I have posted on my website a couple of years ago. We are dealing here with the concept of separating development of a platform and the software product on top of it, which gives us lots of advantages that we'll go through over the course of this clip. The first page of the article contains a diagram. Of course, no diagram can illustrate everything up to the very little detail. There always will be missing pieces, but still, some of the components that are in this diagram can give an impression of what there is altogether. In the middle, an interesting rectangle could be observed, and it calls dependency abstraction. There are also lots of little arrows, and they indicate that everything depends on the dependency abstractions rather than specific implementations. The specific implementations of the platform components are indicated by the word core, and they include many things. I'm not going to go through all of them. We see that external resources have not been neglected. We can take advantage of them as well. And interestingly, the last but not least important part of it is the testing facilities that have to be present in the platform product architecture to facilitate automated testing of the whole system. A word about architecture. The circular diagram that we see at the left part of the picture represents what's known as clean architecture. It is universally accepted architectural pattern that is used in domain-driven design. However, I believe that one of the pieces indicated in the circle diagram actually does not belong there. And that piece is this one, infrastructure. Infrastructure exists and is being built completely separately from domain-centric applications. Infrastructure has its own dependency pattern and exposes itself to users through a layer of abstraction. I prefer to call it platform as opposed to product, although platform and product, they tend to live together, and they usually do. Therefore, we have a new term, platform product architecture. Platform is dependency abstraction centric, product is domain centric, and adheres to a clean architecture pattern. So with all those details covered, we actually are getting frighteningly closer to building the, the product, the server. Let's build it. A Visual Studio solution for building a Web API REST server consists of three projects. First is executable assembly, which is the server itself. The second would be, there are two libraries. The second library would be targeting standard 2.1, and this is the domain data. And the library number 2 is targeting .NET 6, and this is domain model. Now the platform is injected into this solution by the way of the NuGet packages. There they are. Again, two assemblies, one targeting standard, the other targeting .NET 6. Also would be probably interesting to get a quick glimpse at the data storage, the SQL Server. So there's a SQL Server is used. It's one of the SQL servers that I have installed locally, sitting right next to my left leg. In this server, the database that is used is Northwind database, which is well-known Microsoft sample database, which kind of mimics the internal dealings of a shipping company. that ships and buys and sells products all across the globe, and therefore it has a typical set of tables of a company, and the company needs those tables to manage what it does. All right, action. The server has been built. Let's see what it looks like. And so this is just your plain old console application. So it's a self-hosted server built with ASP.NET Core. It indicates it's some of components that go within that server. It shows assemblies. It shows that the target of the assemblies, some of them that are STD 2.1, standard 2.1 .NET libraries, some of them .NET 6 of targeting. The server itself, server assembly is targeting .NET 8 for the reason that we're not going to discuss here. The environment is production. We have a couple of arguments. We have configuration, and here is another detail worth mentioning. So what I like to see in my systems is the what goes into container registration, and this is the dependency injection container that's provided by the ASP.NET Core. Now we see the standard registrations. There's a bunch of Microsoft components, and we see the custom registration. So these are components that are built with the server and that are coming from platform. Alongside the running web API server, it would be good to have client, and here it is. So this is one of the web UI clients that I have been built. It's in 2024, like a year and a half ago, and it's built specifically to test this kind of crude API servers of different kinds. So in this case, it pulled the first data. So now we can let's me flip through the other. Every time I flip through through the tab, I am pulling requests for different API. Right now we see that it was API order. Now it will be API customer, suppliers, products, employees. Okay, so what we see that client and server kind of work pretty well together. So it's reasonably fast. Well, this local host, but it's gonna be fast. But it's still it's not slow. Every time there is no caching activated, there is caching, but it's not activated in this particular case, and it is going to the database which we have seen. And so the server pushes the collections of JSONs into the client, and the client fetches data just the normal React application would do. The other thing client does, it reacts to the selection on the top grid to populate the bottom grid. So depending on which order, and it says here deal and ID 3. So this is order 1, 2, 3, and it shows us the deals that comprise this order. Some orders have one deal, some orders have more than one deal, some orders may have no deal. And so every selection on the top grid resulted in another data fetch to populate the bottom grid. So I thought that this type of testing React application should be sufficient enough to test and to demonstrate the actions of the server. And now we're back, just where we started. So what was the purpose of all this video exercise? It's my first clip, by the way. So it may not be as slick as I wished it was. But anyway, the purpose is to demonstrate that Behind all these smart looking diagrams is developed and working software, which actually is used in a commercial applications. The other aspect that I wanted to emphasize is that platform product solution architecture has been developed for a reason. It does provide developers and the development organizations with advantage. A developer can concentrate on the business logic and the presentation logic of the application that he or she develops and use the platform facilities just as a off-the-shelf nugget components. At the same time, a platform developer is not under pressure of delivering products. The platform can be developed under its own cadence. It can be developed at a much higher quality than when it would be a part of product development. The platform will be equipped with its own testing facility. It will be self-testable. The delivery schedule of a platform will include virtually zero QA time. When used together, a platform and the products will achieve what every software development organization or individual developers are always trying to achieve. These are 5 components of a perfect software, which are functionality, performance, reliability, maintainability, and being delivered on time and on the money. With that, I'm gonna thank everybody who happened to have seen this clip, and let's hope that my next clips, for which I have big plans, will be just better and better.